Welcome back to another build. In this video, we're going to be showing you how a DIYer built this amazing outdoor space using TuffBlock deck blocks, completely transforming his backyard.
Hi, my name's Greg, and we're in Maryland, and we're going to start building a deck today, the first of 5 phases, using the TuffBlock. So this is really my first full-blown deck build that I've ever done. I hope that in the end to have a nice pool deck around the pool, a place for barbecues to sit out. It's about 1,100 square feet, and we're gonna do it in 5 sections. Here's a drawing of my total project that shows that I'm standing right here on section A, which will be the first 12 by 18 section that we're gonna build, and we're gonna start that today. And then I'm going to follow it by building a 12 by 18 section that's going to we're going to sister joist the rim joists and connect the two. An 8 by 18 section off the kitchen, up the steps to another 12 by 18 section with a 4-foot dog leg so that we can get in and out of the steps onto deck instead of grass. And then down at the deep end of the pool, we're going to have another 8 by 18 section, but then add the 4-foot dog leg, brings it to a total of 22 feet by 8 feet wide. With TuffBlock being plastic, I'm going to build this deck without any of the lumber actually touching the surface of the soil.
This is the space before any construction began. Greg's got all the materials prepared, and you can get a full list of everything he used from the Build Tuff website.
So up to today, we've prepared the first 12 by 18 section. I've got the ground leveled. I used a sod cutter to cut away the sod and to also take off about 2 inches of soil. And once I took the sod out, I could start leveling everything up. The most critical aspect, I think, using TuffBlock is to make sure that you're building on a solid, level foundation. So what I did to do that was I drove stakes into the ground and then used mason line to get a good level line using a line level. I just made all the lines level to each other. And then when I run the stakes, I could use a hand measure, find out how much space the TuffBlock needs, go down another 4 inches for that to put the paver base in, and then I dig individual trenches for each line of TuffBlocks. Now each joist needs a TuffBlock every 4 feet or 5 feet really. And then for me using Azek, I use 12-inch on center spacing for the boards because the Azek needs a bit of support, much more than pressure treated pine or other hardwood decking. So you just lay the TuffBlock, you adjust the foundation under it, which in this case is crushed stone and paver base, and then I would tamp it down and level it until it was perfect. Now I've got 4 rows of crushed stone, which as I said, 4 inches deep, dug the trenches, roughly 4 feet apart. And then as I lay the joist building one off the other, I'd use another level to make sure that from the top of the joist to the next joist is also level. And this little level can actually span 3 joists. And if everything's level, I know the deck's gonna lay perfectly across the top.
This pre-made section helps to cantilever the deck by using TuffBlocks under the blocking. This technique also helps conceal TuffBlocks for any exposed sections so they remain hidden under the fascia, which you'll see a bit later. Now, one note for builders at home is that you have the option to use TuffBlocks straight onto compacted ground. Greg has done an awesome job by going the extra mile with the trenches, and the compacted crushed rock will help with drainage.
All right, so we got all the joists in, they're level, they're where we want them to be. So the next step, we're working on the rim joist that's closest to the house. We're going ahead and we're measuring up and pre-attaching the joist hangers. And then after that, we can go in, put the rim joist here, and then put blocking in for strength. And then after the blocking, we're ready to put the decking on. we've got the framing for the first 3 sections, 2 12x18s and 1 8x18, pretty much done, and we're ready to lay the deck board starting today. I'm pretty excited about that. And then we've already started ground prep for section number 4, which is up by the shallow end of the pool. Building the first deck was the hardest because we were learning how to do it. And since we've been started, it's been getting easier and easier. I could tell that everything was just going much smoother. We focused more on getting everything leveled out with the ground prep. Obviously the framing, once we've got those joists level, the framing's super easy. All we have to do is attach the joist hangers, cut some blocking, and everything firms up super nice and super solid.
These Azek composite boards are great for the longevity of your deck and require minimal maintenance. As Greg mentioned, he's gone with 12-inch centers, which composite boards require to stay firm underfoot. Here, Greg's dug 3 more rows for the deck coming off the kitchen. A tamp is going to be your best friend when working with paver base, and it's a must-have when working with TuffBlock.
Dan, Chris, and myself, we all work full-time, so we're really just building this deck in our spare time. And that's going to save us over 75% the cost of what it would be if a builder did it for us.
The prep work is almost done for the pool deck at the top of the stairs. Greg's used a weed barrier under the deck, and like the previous decks, he's got a 12-inch overhang on the cross joists and a bridged overhang on the end joists to conceal the TuffBlocks. Handy tip: composite boards work nicely as a straight edge when trimming your boards. The mitered corners are a nice touch, and Greg is using the Camo Marksman hidden fastener tool for a clean finish. We're on the home stretch now with 1 deck remaining. This one is on a very slight slope, and so Greg's used string line and dug trenches at varying depths to account for the slope. Once you have experience with the system, it becomes a breeze, and Greg is definitely smashing through this 5th and final deck. As before, we've got 12-inch centers with bridging, and the height is matched to the pool coping minus the height of the 1-inch boards. For a first-time DIYer, we are seriously impressed by the end result, and we hope this gives you the confidence to go out and tackle your own project.
Are we pleased with the outcome of the build? I'd have to say we are. My wife did not have much faith in my ability to do it, but YouTube and a little ingenuity and a lot of hard work, and it's finally done. We put in the pool and built the decks around the pool. We really didn't utilize the backyard at all. In fact, for about the last 15 years almost, I literally stepped out of my 2 back doors down about 8 or 10 inches onto dirt. And I can't tell you how happy I am that now I can just walk outside on a nice deck. I can be barefooted, I can be wearing socks, and it's just wonderful. When people come over, they ask about the deck. They ask, did you do this yourself? How did you do it? I like to tell them that I did it with TuffBlock, and one of the things I do is I keep a TuffBlock close by so I can rip it out and show them, because you can't see the TuffBlocks because they are fully concealed. So I'm like, this is it. It's environmentally friendly, made out of recycled material. It actually holds, 1,700 pounds of weight for each block. So TuffBlock did a great job because I've got essentially a floating deck. It didn't even require a permit to build. So I didn't have to dig any major holes, pour concrete, have footers. I didn't have to sink any 4x4s or anything like that. The system is quite simple. Therefore, using TuffBlock just gave me the confidence to build the deck. It came to about $20,000 for the entire deck, which ended up being about 1,100 square feet. Now, one of the builders, who actually gave me a solid figure, said, well, it's gonna cost you somewhere in between $45,000 and $60,000. That's how big your project is. And my jaw just dropped when I heard that. I'm really excited about TuffBlock. I think it's a great product. So they're awesome to work with and super easy. We've got the grill, we've got the pool, we've got some sitting areas, and then we've got a little playground area over under the tree with a hammock and a swing. And we hope to have a lot of campouts back here, some parties, and just some fun.
We hope this has inspired you to create your own backyard oasis. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.